Welcome to Cowgirl Up, the podcast dedicated to elevating your mindset. I'm your host, Lori Blickenstaff, certified mental performance coach at mentalgame101.com. Today's question is, how do I handle nerves, especially in high pressure situations? Well, first, let's try to understand nerves. Nerves are not something that we need to be afraid of or try to avoid. Our job is not to get rid of them, but to change how we view them. So once again, it's a mindset shift. Whether it's a competition, a job interview, public speaking, or just an important conversation you need to have, nerves are natural. So the second step would be to embrace that feeling. You want to feel nerves. I've heard it say, if you don't feel nerves, you don't care enough. And in our bodies, adrenaline and anxiety show up with the same physiological signs. It's your body's way of preparing for something important. So don't be afraid of nerves. You want to feel excited and amped up. So that leads to our mindset shift. Again, we don't want to fight the nerves, and we don't want to assume that if we have nerves, that means that we're anxious or we're not prepared. Those are lies. Even when you're totally focused and ready, you are going to experience nerves. So having anxiety about the fact that you have nerves is not going to be helpful, which is why we need to change how we think of nerves. So how can we reframe this view? Well, we can start seeing nerves as just a sign that our body is gearing up for a challenge. If everyone waited for nerves to disappear before doing something like competing or something that is important to them, no one would have ever accomplished anything. And let me ask you this. Have you ever felt nervous and yet still performed well? Then we can address just quickly the causes of anxiety. When we view nerves as anxiety, it's usually because, one, we are doubting if we have what it takes. So what do we do instead is we make the most of the skills that we bring with us that day. And then the second reason nerves can turn into anxiety is because people are worrying about a future outcome. So if we just remember that anxiety is looking at nerves in a negative way, and that we don't want to look at nerves that way anymore. So what can we do? First, we can start accepting nerves as a natural part of performance, rather than seeing them as the enemy. The second thing is instead of feeling nerves and automatically thinking, oh, I'm doomed, instead tell yourself, oh good, that means I'm activated, I'm ready. And then the third thing we can do is put our focus on something that we can control, like your routine or a process goal. And we'll touch a little bit more on these controllables, as I call them, tomorrow. Now, obviously, this shift in mindset about nerves is not going to happen overnight. But if you start working on it now and start reframing them in your mind, it's going to get easier the more you practice it. And I want to end with our power statement. And again, make this your mantra all week long. Every day In every way, I am getting better. And then tomorrow we will answer the question, how do you handle unexpected last-minute snafus? Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you have any questions, feedback, or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at lori@mentalgame101.com.